So it's Kyle Rittenhouse trial. It reminded a lot of people of something, I just can't remember what it was. Oh, the Brett Kavanaugh hearings.
Are you kidding me? What? Are you kidding me? What? Are you kidding me? What? Yeah, man. That nonsense don't make no sense. This video is brought to you by Extreme Tees. Click on the link below. Make sure you put Kevin in the promo code and you'll get a 20% discount. Do you feel uncertain about the future, especially with the holidays right upon us? You're wondering if there's anything you can do to protect yourself and your family from some unexpected food shortages? Well, yes, there is. Our friends at My Patriot Supply, they specialize in emergency long-term storage food, y'all. They are, like I always tell y'all, America's #1 preparedness company. And they're well stocked with the food that you're going to need. See, other companies have run out of almost everything that they sell because they didn't prepare for what the world is going through right now. But My Patriot Supply, they walk the walk. You can trust this company. And right now, you can save $100 on their 3-month emergency food kit. This kit has enough food to get you through difficult times ahead. But don't you wait. You might just miss out. Go to preparewithkevinscorner.com and save $100 on your 3-month emergency food kit. That is preparewithkevinscorner.com. And to avoid holiday shipping delays, act now. Go to preparewithkevinscorner.com. Now let's get to this video. You know how sometimes, you'll be listening to commentators and they might make a comment or say something and you say, wow, that seems way over the top. That might just be hyperbole. Well, in this case, what I'm about to say is not hyperbole. Joy Reid is the absolute worst human on news currently today. That's right. I stand behind that. Now, I'm not just going to throw that statement out there and not support it like, how Joy Reid throws all kind of accusations and things out there and she never supports it. But I'm going to back it up by us listening to the latest, rant from Joy Reid about Kyle Rittenhouse. And then we'll see if my statement stands. You tell me afterwards, do you think I'm inflating this? Do you think it's a little hyperbole? You think Kevin's sprinkling a little extra on top? Or am I pretty accurate? Let's get into this.
So it's Kyle Rittenhouse trial. It reminded a lot of people of something, I just can't remember what it was. Oh, the Brett Kavanaugh hearings.
What?
In which Brett Kavanaugh, who had been accused by a high school friend of committing sexual abuse of her, cried his way through the hearings to make him a permanent member and Associate Justice of the United States Supreme Court.
Now, right off grip, do you see what I'm saying? I mean, this woman right here has no bounds when it comes down to how low can she go. Can she go down low? The only person that was thinking that reminds them of the Brett Kavanaugh trial is Joy Reid. That stuff is in her mind because, see, her job description is she's the designated race baiter at MSNBC. Her goal is to sniff out racism wherever there isn't any racism, okay? That is her sole job. Have you ever seen a episode of Joy Reid where race somehow did not make its way into the conversation? I don't care what you're talking about. It doesn't even matter. You could be talking about that the sky is blue and somehow she will slide in some racism. That's only a rosy view of the sky through the lens of white nationalism. Black people see gray skies all the time. This woman is disgusting, and she apparently doesn't recognize for the paycheck, for the mighty dollar, she is playing her part and tearing the country apart. So now what she's trying to do is, infer that Kyle, who is a 17-year-old, 18-year-old, and cried on the stand after a very, very traumatic experience, is being compared to Brett Kavanaugh. Even though she tries to make this comparison, I get mad thinking about that. Can you imagine a whole bunch of people like Joey and the rest of them out here making up stories about you? And you didn't do it? You don't think that's enough to make you mad? When you are a person like Brett Kavanaugh who went through your whole life crossing your T's and dotting your I's, making sure that you play by all the rules, you get to the pinnacle of your career only to have these corrupt, stinking, demonic-filled folks call you a gang rapist, say you molested or sexually assaulted some woman and you didn't do it. you will get crazy over less rumors than that. I mean, heck, there's some stuff that if somebody brought it up and it took place in the 4th grade and I didn't do it as a grown man, I might be ready to scrap. And yet they accuse this dude of being a gang rapist, sexually assaulting Tara Reid, and trying to ruin his career, embarrass him, just destroy his family, everything he worked so hard for. Do you think that's worth crying about? Huh? Yeah. See, and she threw a fit after some emails or some tweets came up about some, I guess, some gay bashing or some controversial things she said before. I didn't even, somebody hacked my stuff. But yet, she expect folks to be defamed like Brett Kavanaugh and unfortunately like this young man, Kyle, and just to take it, right? She expect Kyle to be a sociopath like the folks that were trying to kill him and not have any recollection or emotions from having to take the life of 2 people. Not because he chose to, not because he went there to kill somebody, but because those 2 people were part of an angry mob that was encouraged by Joy Reid, the rest of the crooked media, and of course the Democrat Party. And now it's all being flushed out and Joy Reid can't let it go. She now has made it her mission to go out and for some reason go after this young man and try to tie all these other things together that really have nothing to do with it. So far, I feel confident in my statement that she's the worst human on TV. Let's continue though.
And his tears turned out to be more powerful than the tears of Christine Blasey Ford, which were the tears of an alleged victim. But in America, there's a thing about both white vigilantism and white tears, particularly male white tears.
Since when? Since when? What are you talking about? Did you not see Blasey Ford get the red carpet rolled out for her? Would you like some water? You're so brave. Now, if Blasey Ford was a conservative lady, do you think her crying up there, Joy Reid would be talking about, you know what, those tears? No, she would do exactly to Blasey Ford what she's doing to Kyle Rittenhouse. She would call her a Karen. She would say she's benefiting off of liberal white woman tears. She would use whatever racial narrative she needs to divide the country and push these narratives that MSNBC pays her to do. She's the race dog. She's the race hound dog. Her job is to sniff out that racism and go to barking. Brr, and here she is barking from her crib. She have taken her work home with her. She took the racism from MSNBC studio to the crib. Wow. She is an overachiever. So now she's trying to say that white male tears are, I guess, the key to success, the key to get out of trouble. Since when? I don't know about y'all, but right about now, for the last maybe 8 to 10 years, I wouldn't want to be a white man in America. Right about now, you can pretty much do and say whatever you want to a white man in America. Oh, I'm sorry. A heterosexual, middle class white man in America. And yet she's talking about white man tears is the key to get out of trouble. Let's continue hearing from this complete reprobate, race baiting, most disgusting person on TV.
Really white tears in general, because that's what Karens are, right? They Karen out, and then as soon as they get caught, it's like, Green Waterworks. White men can get away with that too. And it has the same effect. Even as the right tries to politicize the idea that masculinity is being robbed from American men by multiculturalism and wokeism.
So she's going all across the highway of all the identity politics. She's swerving all over the road. Right about now, she's trying to slide in a little bit of racism, sexism, and then she's trying to slide in some white privilege, and then she want to sprinkle in a little bit of toxic male masculinity. Do you think this one? I mean, the rumor has it she's married. Maybe, I don't know. She got kids. I mean, who made that mistake? Who in the world could tolerate dealing with this woman? She got to be the most angriest woman on the planet right about now. She must wake up thinking of things to be mad about. Or, like I said, it's in her job description. So now she's talking about white folks in general. Maybe she doesn't realize that she's a complete racist. Maybe she doesn't realize how in the world can MSNBC have this lady on their network and she's making videos like this in 2021. You would think that this was 1925. However, if it was 1925, all the stuff that she's saying right now, she wouldn't be saying, because she wouldn't be on TV making millions of dollars to say these things. So obviously, MSNBC is aware of her behavior, aware of her divisiveness, aware of her slandering all of these people's names and throwing all of this garbage on the wall, hoping something sticks, and they're okay with it. So guess what? They are just as corrupt and stinking and nasty as she is to let her jump on their platform and spew this type of hatred, lies, and inferences out there like this. And yet YouTube suppresses my videos. I guess they don't like it because they think maybe me trying to fight against all of this race baiting is hate speech. Let's continue with this chick.
They still want to be able to have their tears. The evening after Kyle Rittenhouse tearfully testified at his murder trial in Wisconsin, like a mini Brett Kavanaugh. Let me just remind people of the names of the victims. Joseph Rosenbaum, who was 36 years old. Anthony Huber, who was 26. Gage Grosskreutz, who's only 27 years old, was injured. These are the victims. These are the people that people ought to remember are the people who were hurt here, not the person who was crying on the stand today.
Now, we just heard Joy Reid talk about white people in general. She didn't, sit back and sanctify the men from the women. She just straight up was like, well, actually, I mean, white people in general, white women and men, but especially men who always tend that we trying to get rid of masculinity and stuff. She's trying to cover all her bases. So here's this woman all of a sudden, though, jumping on board would want us to remember the names of the white victims. Now, I didn't think Joy Reid cared about any white people. She don't even have a dog in this fight. I mean, she's supposed to be the racism hound dog, right? So why is she sniffing around this whole, okay. Because her bosses, the folks who give her the platform, say, you know what? We need this narrative to look like it's tied to Trump, tied to racism, tied to some type of white nationalism. So Joy, do what we paid you to do. Tie that mess to stuff that has nothing to do with this. And if you have to look like you have conflicted emotions on the inside, one moment you hate all white people, and the next moment you want us to remember all their names because now they're victims. Now they're victims. So what's the difference between these white males being victims and the white male that shot the victims? Oh, one of them you interpret to be a Trump supporter. Or one of them, you want to push the whole gun control narrative. One of them, you want to push the whole white nationalism narrative. So you're willing to set aside all of that pro-black sisterism and tell us to remember the names of 3 white men who also are 3 law-breaking men. One is a darn rapist of kids. And she want me to remember his name. He beat up women. The other one beat up women. Smacked his grandmother. And then the last one, the dude that got himself killed out there with the skateboard and all that stuff trying to hit him. Those dudes, he had a knife to his brother's stomach. These are all corrupt criminals, riffraffs, and all of that. And yet you are trying to suggest that I should remember them as victims? And Kyle, up there crying, is being compared to Brett Kavanaugh? Well, if that's the best you can do, that's a compliment to Kyle. Brett Kavanaugh tried to live a clean life, do what was right. I do have my problems with him, but the bottom line is Brett Kavanaugh seemed to be a pretty nice citizen. Same thing with Kyle. Probably, which would make their tears more genuine because they feel like someone is trying to impede their character for political gain. Like you, worst person on TV. Now let's finish destroying this chick.
Judge has done everything but, offer to adopt Kyle Rittenhouse. Like, he seems so clearly on his side.
And you seem so clearly against all of the evidence. You seem so clearly against Kyle, Rittenhouse. For what reason? What dog do you have in this, Joy? I mean, did he kill a whole bunch of black folks? I wonder, why are you mad at this kid? Why can't you do what you're supposed to do if you are a commentator, a journalist, which you should be sitting back reporting the facts. Oh, okay, so the prosecution played around with evidence. The prosecution was playing games throughout the whole time. You mean to tell me the prosecution is overcharging this kid? The prosecution didn't let the defendants see all of that information, the videos and stuff? That's what you should be doing, but no. What you're doing is trying to find problems where there are no problems so that you can continue holding the title as the worst person on TV. I ain't finished with you yet, because I ain't finished with these clips proving my point, my case. I'm not saying things with hyperbole. This woman is the worst human on TV. Let's continue.
And almost immediately, Rittenhouse became a cause celeb for the MAGA cult.
Oh, God.
If you want to know why critical race theory exists, the actual law school theory that emphasizes that supposedly colorblind laws in America often still have racially discriminatory outcomes, then look no further than the trial of Kyle Rittenhouse.
Now, wait a minute. Wait a minute. See, the worst person on TV just sat back and said, first of all, that the MAGA folks, you know, Rittenhouse, he's become a household name amongst, how about a household name amongst law-abiding citizens that understand the First, the Second Amendment, understand self-defense, understand evidence that is fair, open-minded, and able to see through y'all diabolical scheme to compromise all of these things, to taint the fair trial that the young man is supposed to be getting, to overlook all of the evidence that we all saw. I mean, whether Kyle supported Trump or not, that man, if you watch the trial and you are fair, you can't conclude anything else but that kid's innocent. How about folks that don't like seeing their cities burned down by race-baiting folks like you who encourage this stuff in the Democrat Party? How about that? But yet you want to tie it to MAGA folks and all of that, and then got the nerve to come in talking about the reason why critical race theory exists, but I thought it didn't. I thought it didn't. So, just like all flip-flopping, disgusting, stinking, two-bit, no good, backstabbing, snag-a-tooth, pepper-tooth, peanut butter-tooth, gangrene, having funky, disgusting, raggedy wig, rocking, bad makeup applying, disgusting, doodle brown, stinking, dumpster juice, worst human on the planet does. You flip-flop your narratives based on if it's applicable in that situation. You're not real, Joy. You're see-through. You're fake. And I'm here to expose it. Just like you call yourself exposing the white man and Kyle and all of them. Let's continue before we bounce.
Two cases, which will once again tell us where we are as a country. Whether armed, primarily white men can continue to take matters into their own hands and serve as judge, jury, and executioner.
See what I'm saying? See what I'm saying, y'all? White men, okay, can serve as judge, jury, and executioner. So let me understand this. I'm overlooking all of the black men who destroyed property, black women who destroyed property, took the law into their own hands, didn't even wait for the George Floyd trial. No. Didn't even wait for all the evidence to come out about Michael Brown. Didn't wait for all the evidence to come out about what really took place in Kenosha and all of that. Now with what's the young man who got himself shot in the back? Yeah, didn't wait for the evidence to come out about why these riots even started. That young man who got himself shot after, assaulting his girlfriend, prior girlfriend, all that stuff. They didn't wait for none of that. No. Why wait for those things? How about we tear up stuff and then figure out the details later? And here she is talking about taking the law into their own hands. If that was the case, all of the 30 million plus legal gun owners and all these conservatives around this country should have been stopping all of those 500 plus riots that you guys encouraged throughout the whole summer. And yet your mayors and governors told the police to step down. Let it happen. Burn down this house, burn down that, burn down this, break in these stores. If that was the case, then I'm thinking we wouldn't have seen all of this stuff happening. We would have all taken up arms, went out there and took the law into our own hands. But no, we sat back and watched city after city burn, and nasty folks like you, after nasty folks like you, get on here and push this type of propaganda. I'm not done with her yet.
Legally. It's stunning, Katie. This feels like those cases in the 1950s where it was in and out, somebody, white male, killed someone and they were in and out fast and acquitted. That's how it feels.
Then obviously she has no idea of what took place back there in the 50s, okay? For her to make this comparison, that just goes to show how far she is reaching to make this into some type of racial narrative. It also goes to show how ignorant she is, but also how evil she is, how disingenuous she is, how corrupt she is, how foul she is, how dishonest she is. For her to belittle all of the things that went and took place back there in those days, like Emmett Till, Maybe she didn't see that trial. Maybe she didn't see those two white men sitting down there, real confident amongst all their peers, knowing that they would never get accused, never be found guilty. They celebrated as they walked out of there. America's greatest country on the planet. Justice was done here tonight. All of that. Maybe she don't understand the difference between the evidence, the overwhelming evidence that black folks went through and tried to present back in those days, and all white juries pretty much looked at them like, oh, I don't care what y'all show us. We're not going to convict our own kind, man. But now she's trying to compare that to what's going on with Kyle. All of those black people down there burning stuff, tearing up stuff. Jacob Blake being shot after warned time and time again by the police. She don't even want to talk about how we got here. All of those black folks that for some reason were able to riot, loot, and tear up stuff along with those white people, and the cops never pulled up and start killing them all. No dogs were brought out. Where are all the water hoses? All of those things. But it reminds her of those days back then, see. So I wish somebody could give me a time machine so I can send her raggedy tail right back there and drop her off in the deep south somewhere in Alabama and see just how much race baiting she would do. Maybe she will come back with a greater appreciation of the race relations that she's trying to destroy right about now and all the progress we've made. But no, that's not her job. Her job is to prostitute herself and be the deputy dog, the hound dog of racism. Go get him. Go get him, girl. You smell it? Oh, no, you don't? Okay, well, you know what? We'll come up with something for you to go get. Let's finish this chick off.
People involved in this are white, you know, and the thing I noticed was not said, and I saw it on the paper, but it was never said out loud by the prosecutor, was Black Lives Matter was involved, and that he left that characterization aside. The victims were black. I would be 100% sure that this about I know this about this case would end. I would be, at least in my own mind.
Dun, dun, dun. Kevin smash. So here she is as we close. Joy Reid is the worst person on TV right about now. And that's saying a lot. There are a lot of people for her to contend with right about now. She done edged out Nasty Pelosi. She done even edged out creepy, sleepy, slimy, sleazy, sloppy Joe. You know why? Because she don't really even have a dog in this fight. She right now is nothing more than a commentator that is out here prostituting herself and selling out and really hurting black folks by encouraging them to get mad, be upset for nothing, see things through the lens of racism and not logic, not common sense, not evidence. She right now is contributing to setting us back. She's trying to take us back to those 50s that she's talking about. When she gets up there and lies, makes these inferences, slanders people, you would think she wouldn't even have that white lady sitting on her show. You would think this soul sister number one, always mad for nothing, wouldn't even be working for this network that's owned by white folks, taking that white man's money. And yet, she's down with the struggle. I bet you she see racism in everything except that big fat paycheck that they give her for doing her job, which is finding racism where there is no racism. That's the worst kind of human right there. That is why I don't think I'm using any type of hyperbole by saying that Joy Reid is the absolute worst human on TV. And by the way, tell her that I said that. Because, see, I'm going to stand behind it. I'm not going to shy away from it. She's the worst. Now, God bless y'all. Don't you end up like no Joy Reid. She's the worst. We'll see y'all next time in Kevin's Corner. Now I got to go and calm down somewhere. You know, I was green for a minute and she did this to me. She did this to me. God bless. Take care. Now, God bless y'all. Don't forget to hit that like button. Share my videos. Also, don't forget to donate if you like Kevin's Corner. There are links in the bottom of this video. Check out Extreme Tees, my sponsor. If you like the products, put Kevin in the promo code. You'll get a 20% discount. And what else? Oh, find me on Rumble in the Jungle. All right, God bless you all next time in Kevin's Corner. Take care.